Hey everyone, welcome to Movie Summaries. Today we are summarizing a 2021 horror movie called The Resort. Fair warning for you, there are definitely spoilers in this summary. Enjoy, and be sure to subscribe to watch more videos weekly, and hit like. The movie opens with a security guard searching through a large abandoned building. He finds broken glass, an empty tequila bottle, all the staples of an abandoned teen party place. He searches room by room, before deciding to scare his partner by jumping out at him. The two security guards begin to make their way out, when they are startled by the screams of a group of people heard in the distance. The lights go out, and their breath begins to fog in the air. One of the guards is dragged off into the dark by an unseen force. The movie then cuts to an apartment, where we see Alexandria coming home. She flips the lights on, and turns to see her three friends, Chris, Bree, and Sam, standing there surprising her with a birthday cake. She thanks them for the cake, and a surprise trip to Hawaii. I wish my friends would plan an exotic trip for my birthday. When Lex blows out the candles, we are transported into a hospital bed that is being hurriedly wheeled in with doctors surrounding it. The picture fades, and we are brought back to see Lex in a hospital bed. A doctor claims that Lex calmed down after they told her she'd been airlifted off the island. Detective Peterson enters the room to talk to her about what happened to her and her friends. The movie cuts back to Lex's apartment, where she and the others are sitting in the living room hanging out. It is revealed that Lex is writing a book about a haunted resort on Kilahuna Island in Hawaii, and that is why her friends are taking her there. Lex tells him about the legends of the island's spirits, and how no one has set foot on the island since the resort's forced shutdown. Bree takes this opportunity to reveal yet another surprise for the birthday girl. She tells Lex that they found someone willing to take them to Kilahuna Island, specifically so they could investigate the resort for themselves. Lex is beyond excited, but Sam mocks her, revealing that he is a skeptic who doesn't believe in ghosts. Lex pulls up some YouTube videos on her laptop about the island, in an attempt to sway Sam's belief. The videos talk about strange disappearances on the island, a specific room, 306, in which people often heard voices and experienced mirror writing, as well as a particularly malicious entity dubbed the Half-Faced Girl, who was murdered on the island. All this, the locals believed, because the resort was built on sacred land cursed by the blood of war. After watching the videos, Sam appears a bit creeped out, but still holds strongly to his skepticism. He mocks the videos, specifically the half-faced girl, by placing salami slices over one side of his face. Back in the hospital room, Detective Peterson tries to encourage Lex to talk to him. She tells him that her friends are still in fact on the island, but that they are all dead, and it was the half-faced girl who killed them. Detective Peterson is reluctant to believe her claims, and asks her to start from the moment they arrived in Hawaii. Lex and her friends pile into their rental car, where Bree and Sam inform her that they will have to island hop to get to the resort. They arrive at a small airstrip, where a helicopter is waiting for them. Lex is hesitant, as she is afraid of flying. Afraid of flying, but not afraid of ghosts. Okay, Lex. They board the chopper, and begin their journey to Kilahuna. The pilot tells them on the way that he does not believe the stories, but implies that he does believe the island is haunted. He urges them to stay on the hiking trails, and that they should not miss the boat leaving the island at 7, for any reason. He drops them off and leaves. The group hikes through fields and forests, talking and cracking jokes with each other. Chris and Lex walk together, and we get a sense that maybe there's a little bit more than a friendship bubbling between the two. Honestly, they'd make a cute couple. Lex and Sam also get to walk together for a bit. The two chat about their beliefs and skepticism of the afterlife. Lex believes wholeheartedly, and even claims to have had an encounter herself when she was younger. Sam, on the other hand, thinks that it's all fake, and people made religion and stories to make themselves feel better. The group comes to a fork in the trail. One way has signs that read, "Do not enter," while the other leads to a waterfall. Lex wants to take the road less taken as a shortcut to the resort. However, she gets voted down by the other three, who all want to go swimming first. Back in the hospital, Lex recounts the waterfall as the last time she felt safe and peaceful on the island. Scenes of the friends splashing and playing around accompany her monologue as she explains to Detective Peterson how she should have noticed the warning signs sooner. Peterson promises Lex that he won't think that she's crazy, as he encourages her to continue her story. The group continues their hike, stopping to take a break for lunch. They have yet another conversation about paranormal beliefs. Lex is a hard believer, while Chris and Bree take a middle ground on believing in the possibility of the supernatural, and Sam is still a skeptic. Sam tells the group a story about how he grew up in a religious household, and one night, he woke up feeling held down, unable to move. He tells them that he prayed until he was able to move again, and ends the story with him learning about sleep paralysis in college, discrediting his entire paranormal experience. He then gets up to go pee behind a tree. While he is standing there, he sees what appears to be a person watching him from behind another tree in the distance. He calls Chris to come check it out, but they discover it is only a sheet hanging from a branch. Looks to me like Sam might have been a little scared. The group stops at a lookout point to judge their distance from the resort. Bree spots a phone tower and complains that she can't get any service, but Chris corrects her that it is actually a radio tower that probably doesn't work anymore. Sam decides he wants to climb the tower, but Chris warns against touching it. Sam approaches the tower anyways and pretends to be electrocuted when he touches it. Bree freaks out while the other two just laugh it off. Sam teases Bree for actually caring about him, which she does not find amusing. This guy is seriously obnoxious. They finally make it to the resort and find a small hole in the fence to crawl through. Lex pulls out her phone to record as they make their way into the massive structure. The group marvels at the beautiful views, while Sam, who has been drinking, picks up cinder blocks and begins throwing them through windows. Bro needs to chill. Chris scolds him for being unnecessarily destructive. They then head out to check out the notorious room 306. On the way, Sam decides he'd rather check outside and splits off from the group. Amateur mistake. Lex has Chris take pictures of her with the haunted mirror in the background. At this point, we are taken back to the hospital room. Detective Peterson seems puzzled that Lex has mentioned a picture she took, because when they found her phone, there were no photos past her arriving in Hawaii. Back again at the resort, the group is unnerved by a strange sound. They look outside to see massive flocks of birds circling the sky before dispersing. Pretty sure that's a bad omen. Bree and Chris decide that they should head back so they don't miss the boat, but Lex is disappointed. As the group heads out, they get a bit turned around and can't seem to find the hole in the fence from which they came. As they stand there debating it, Lex realizes that she left her bag in the resort with all their stuff in it. Despite protests from the others, they all go back to get it. However, when they get back to room 306, the bag is gone. Chris searches and finds it a few rooms down, in a room with a dead, mangled coyote. Dumbfounded on how the bag got there, or how a coyote got there. There are no coyotes on Hawaii. They decide it's time to leave. We again see the security guard from the beginning of the movie, as this is the point at which he came in. The group makes their way back to the exit, only to find that it has been chained shut. When they spot the truck, they hide in fear for being arrested or trespassing. As they contemplate what to do, they hear the screams of the security guards. Chris breaks a window for them to escape out of. Sam and Bree jump into the security guard's truck, but Chris and Lex are adamant about not stealing it. If I were them, I definitely would have taken the truck. While they are arguing with each other, the truck doors suddenly close and lock Bree inside. The others try to free her, but the truck drives itself right off the second floor of the resort. Chris rushes down to check on her, but to no one's surprise, Bree is dead. Chris regroups with Lex and Sam. They are all distraught and comforting each other when they spot a woman crouching behind a pillar, watching them. Her bones crack and distort as she stands, and the three friends all take off running in fear. They end up in the resort basement, with no direction of how to get out. To their dismay, the ghost woman has followed them and continues to chase them through the darkness. They try to follow the signs to find an exit, but Sam gets grabbed by the ghost, who we now know is the half-faced girl. She possesses his body, and he attacks Chris, strangling him. Lex then finds a pair of scissors on the ground and stabs Sam in the neck, saving Chris. As they stand watching their friend struggle to breathe, the half-faced girl reaches around and tears the skin off Sam's face. The two continue running until they reach an elevator. But surprise, the elevator isn't working. Sam's corpse, who is still possessed, stalks Chris and Lex. He ominously calls Lex's name as he approaches. Chris tries to protect her by standing in front of her, but Sam pushes him down and crushes his skull with a fierce kick. Yep, he's dead. Lex finally manages to get the elevator working and makes it back to the upper levels of the resort. This time, she runs into Bree's possessed corpse, who is singing Happy Birthday. Bree lights a match and drops it in front of her. White light envelops the screen as Lex screams and we are transported back to the hospital. Lex tells Peterson that is the last thing she remembers before waking up in the hospital. He tells her that he is going to arrange a search party to find her friends and goes to make a call. While he is on the phone, Lex picks up her phone to take a picture of him and notices his body looks veiny and decrepit in the camera, indicating a possession. Poor girl can't catch a break. When he realizes she knows, he attacks her, and the half-faced girl reveals herself. She rips open the curtains, only to see that she is still in the basement of the resort, and she never escaped the island. Her body begins to look as if it is decomposing, implying that she is also dead. The movie ends with an aerial view of the resort, enveloped in pink light. I mean, come on, what did they expect to happen going into a haunted resort? Hope you enjoyed our summary. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos weekly. Thanks.